All right, CC, besides trying somehow to slow down or stop Kevin Durant, what adjustments do the Rockets have to make now to win Game 2?
They got to run more motion. The reason why I have a problem with what D'Antoni's talking about is, yes, that is a part of what you do. But if you're going to telegraph the pass, if you're going to tell me you're going to do isolation twice as much as you did before,
right.
This is a top 5 defense. They've been a top 5 defense the last 4 years. And a top 5 defense will make the adjustments. They will cut out your second chance points. They'll freeze out the other players, play them up on the 3-point line, and you get the result that you got in game number 1. You know, to me, it's not about ego. You got to swallow your pride. And that's all the coach is talking about here. They ask him a question, you watch us? Yeah, coach, we're watching you. Yeah, we know exactly what you did. You isolated 20% of the time. And that's not how you won 65 games. It was how you went from that style to having Chris Paul on the point, to getting the ball in a motion offense, to getting up and down. That's how you won 65 games.
Listen, Mike, if you didn't watch Game 1 and you would say, the Rockets ran a bunch of isolations, they lost, and D'Antoni's asking, did you watch us play? It would make sense. But CeCe's point about, in the regular season, they ran more isolations than any team in basketball, 22 per game. In Game 1 of this series, they ran 45 isolation plays. That's more than any team in any game in 5 years. So you weren't actually doing what you did in the regular season. You were doing it twice as much. Now, there are benefits. I know people say that every team should run like the Warriors run. Teams don't have the personnel the Warriors have, but also there's benefits to doing it the way the Rockets do. Historically low turnover rate has been a benefit. The fewer passes you throw. That's why the Warriors, they are near record-setting assist rate, but also they are amongst the great teams. They turn the ball over more than just about anybody. So there are downsides to that. I understand the Rockets saying we're not going to change who we are. Because I would like to see this be a series, so I would like to see the Rockets win tonight, I would like them to try to go back to who they are, which is you had 22 isolations a game as a team during the season. James Harden had 23 by himself in Game 1. That wasn't actually who you were. It became exclusively who you were in Game 1, and that was problematic for them offensively. And then defensively, go ahead, C.
Defensively, they got to play better. You have to be able to – you can't lose Klay Thompson as many times as they did. Now, they did a good job on Klay. And from a defensive standpoint, if Kevin Durant gets hot early, you have to expect he's one of the greatest scorers in the history of this game. You got to be able to send him a double team. You got to be able to give him different looks. Because my thing is you just can't be boneheaded and just say, listen, I'm going to force this. I'm not going to double team Kevin Durant. You're going to lose this series if you don't double team him and if you go too much isolation. So those are the 2 adjustments I expect the Rockets to make.
And I'm going to go back to this because the Rockets did it in Game 1. They just did it too late. One of the reasons you can't double team Kevin Durant is because Kevin Durant's on the court with Klay and Steph. So try to get Steph off the court. We saw in Game 1, Steph, if you isolate him on the ball handler, he will reach. He will foul. He had 5 second-half fouls. Do that early to try to get him off the court. And, Jenna, what did I tell you were the key moments for the Rockets to take advantage of? Steve Kerr, for a reason I don't understand, takes Steph and KD out simultaneously. Start the second, start the fourth. There were 7 minutes like that in Game 1. The Warriors played the Rockets dead even in those 7 minutes. You have to dominate them in the few minutes when Steph and KD are off the court. They didn't do that in Game 1. Those are missed opportunities.
What do you think is going to happen tonight?
I think the Warriors are going to win. I think they're a better team. I think the Warriors are going to win.
If the Warriors win tonight, this is, to me, the last meaningful NBA game that will be played this year. If the Warriors win tonight, they win the series. And does anyone at this desk think that whoever comes out of the East can compete with them if they make the finals? Does anybody? If the Warriors win tonight, Houston can't come back from 0-2 down when those 2 games are at home. So if that happens, then the Warriors, then it's all just preamble to the parade for Golden State that'll happen in a few weeks.
Klay is in better shape.
Yes.
Klay plays both ways every game, no complaints. That's what Klay does. That's how he's made his money besides shooting. So Klay is a tremendous athlete, is in great shape. People don't want to give him credit. And you can see Harden got tired. He is not the type of athlete. You mentioned before, he's in better shape than we've seen James Harden. But no one besides LeBron is in that type of shape to be able to be on the point and is not going to suffer on the defensive end.
And even LeBron and James Harden, as you see at the end of the games, they get off to good starts. They dominate the ball, third, fourth quarter. They make a lot of uncostly mistakes, a lot of turnovers that other teams get easy points off of because they're tired and they've been dominant the whole game. You got to have other guys on your team to give those guys breaks.
And one thing you talked about with the role players, I believe it's very, very important. With you playing with superstar players, playing on great teams that passed and picked and moved without the ball, played a lot of motion. I used to tell the coach, especially when it's cold. And it's cold outside. If you want me to show up in the third or fourth quarter, you better let me touch that ball in the first or second quarter. Don't be expecting me just to make some critical play and I haven't been involved in the game plan. I'm not going to tell you got to throw it to me a bunch, but you better let me touch it before it gets critical.
Well, and listen, I think Trevor Ariza understands what his role is. I think Trevor Ariza was playing his role well in Game 1. The foul trouble is what got him. He got fourth and fifth fouls in quick succession in the third quarter. You had to take him out of the game. I think Trevor Ariza knows my job in this series is to do the best job anybody can on Kevin Durant, try to slow him down. Like, I'm not as worried about Ariza losing interest because that's what he was brought to this team to do. I am worried about Eric Gordon needs to play better than he played this postseason. Chris Paul needs to play better than he played in Game 1.
None of those role players want to get the ball with less than 2 seconds to shoot.
Of course.
After you've been yo-yoing, and then now you don't get a shot. You're trying to throw it to me, and I got the rush one up there.
The grenade. Don't throw me the grenade. Dribble the ball, the whole shot clock, 2 seconds, tick, 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 boom, you want to throw it to me. James does that a lot, but you can't do that with guys that you expect to play defense the whole game.
Does Mike D'Antoni make the adjustments? Can he? Is he capable?
I don't think he will. I think he's too stuck in his ways.
Wow. Stephen, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.